All right, we're live. Let's talk about what I wanted to talk about today was working with cash buyers and sellers, dealing with it as representing a seller. So I know that we've all done that for the most part. So I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of a conversation about best practices as far as really setting expectations with buyers and sellers, and just kind of recounting your experiences so how it could be helpful with other people. Let's role play this a little bit, okay? You've got a buyer. Hey, are you planning to pay cash, or are you going to get a mortgage? What lender have you spoken with? Oh, I'm planning to pay cash. Oh, that's fantastic. Do you have access to it immediately, or is it something that you need to transfer over? Well, I've got it where I can get access to it within 24 hours. Okay, great. So just so you understand, if you're getting a loan, I'd need a letter from a lender that says, hey, you're qualified for X. If you're paying cash, then I need a copy of your bank statement that shows your name and the balance in there that will cover the cost of the transaction. We can cover up your account number and all that stuff, but we have to have proof of funds. Make sense? Cool. All right. So what are some, maybe for lack of a better term, objections that we can expect cash buyers to come at us with that we're going to need to set the expectation for?
Objections to, you mean to like providing a letter, or?
Not necessarily that, because I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue as their expectations for being a cash buyer and what they perceive, how that's going to play out.
Well, if they're in multiples, they may think that they've got the best offer because it's a cash offer, and the seller that is the most attractive.
And you know what? That's a positive of being a cash buyer, because I think you absolutely do have an advantage in a multiple offer situation.
Because you can close quicker.
Being a cash buyer, 100%. And you want to take advantage of that. You want to bump up that timeline. If you're not in a multiple offer situation, maybe you want to take the full 30 days or give or take, right? But that's definitely an advantage. You want to shoot for 21 days, give or take, maybe even less if they feel really good about it, to really strengthen your offer for a cash and a multiple. What else?
I think a lot of times cash buyers think that they can get a better deal because they're using cash.
Aha, that's where I want to go with the conversation. So let's talk about that.
They don't think that they have to be as competitive because it's cash.
So let's script how you deal with that.
So for instance, I had a cash buyer for Peach House this past 2 weeks ago that I got under contract for $379.9, I think, something like that. And it'd been on the market for like a few months, and there were no other offers on it. I showed it to her, and said that she wanted to offer $340.
Someone's got something else going on that you keep breaking up.
And it's beeping.
It's
Whoever's
like,
doing something that's beeping, please stop.
I hear something too. So everybody just mute unless you're talking, please. I'm going to mute too.
So, okay. So she had, she wanted to offer $340. And of course I walked her through the whole, I understand you've got cash that's super attractive to a seller. I said, but these are the comps. If this is what you want to offer, that's fine. We'll just have to see, do you have room for negotiations at this price? She said, yes. I said, okay. So of course I offered the $340. Sellers came back at $365. And she said, well, the highest I'm willing to go is $350 max. I said, if that's your highest and best, then that's what I'll present. So of course I did. Then the sellers came back and said, we'll do $350, but you have to take the property as is, no repairs. So of course I explained that to my buyer, and I said, listen, you got what you wanted. I said, this is a heck of a deal. I said, but the property, it goes as is. And of course she agreed to that, and all is well. And it's going to be a mail away closing and that's the end of it. So, I mean, her EMD was 1%. Her due diligence, I think, was like 500. I can't remember all of it right now off the top of my head, but anyway, she got what she wanted. I think that she had the advantage of not being in a multiple offer situation. And these sellers are super old and, you know, ready. They didn't have a mortgage on the property or anything. They were, you know, pretty motivated to make a deal. So.
Doug, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
I got the pop up. Sorry. In that situation, it worked out, and it
Right.
was good. And I don't think either of us expected that to happen.
Right.
But hey, the good thing is your person was realistic in that, well, the house had been around for a little while, right? And that they understood to get that the seller wasn't going to do anything else. So it was a good compromise. But one thing that I want to make sure that you're preparing people for, we're already saying, look, the market's going to dictate what this thing is going to sell for. It's not what you want to pay for it, right? Now, I mean, you can try that, and if you're fine with not getting it, that's one thing, obviously. But the comps are going to tell us what it's going to sell for, by and large. We know where it's going to end up. The comps are the comps. The data is the data. We're data-driven. We don't guess. It's not gut feeling. We look at the data, right? At the same time, it's fantastic that you are able to pay cash. That gives us an advantage because there's less risk, and you can close faster if you need to, which probably works better for everybody usually, right?
Yeah.
However, make sure you understand that just because you're paying cash doesn't mean you can pay less for a house.
True.
Because here's the deal. The seller gets cash from the bank at closing. So it's not like you're rolling up with a truckload of cash and dumping it on the front step and they're like, whoa, now I can play, you know, Scrooge McDuck or whatever. It doesn't work that way. So whatever funny way you can have fun with it to convey that and set that expectation, make sure that you do, because it's really important. It's really important. Because then you're going to get in a cycle, if you don't, of people making lowball offers because, well, I got cash. And then you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you keep making these offers that don't get accepted.
And it's kind of embarrassing and insulting. It's embarrassing for me as an agent representing the client to present an offer like that. And it's insulting to the seller to receive an offer like that. But obviously you work for your client, you do what they tell you to do, but you know, the experience will hopefully teach them that they can't do that.
Right. And that's a good point, because it is also your reputation, and you
Right.
don't want to start putting yourself in all these other agents' minds who you're going to work with again or interact with again, that, yeah, I let my clients be unrealistic. And then I'm happy to throw lowball offers around.
Right.
We don't want to be agents that do that. And it's not about not representing our client. Representing our clients, helping our clients stay realistic. Who else has thoughts? What's your dog looking at, Dustin?
I know, his dog's
Are the blinds up like just enough they can stick its snout through and see?
Yeah, he just likes to watch the neighborhood.
That's great. Making sure Felicia's not out there causing trouble.
Yeah, he'd better.
I mean, that's it. That's the point I really wanted to drive home. So any additional thoughts on that? It is really important that it's not that we're not representing our client, but it's about really representing them, and really representing them is helping them be realistic about the process. And understanding that while cash can be an advantage, it doesn't mean you get to lowball people, and that people are going to take less for their property just because you're paying cash. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but we need to set that expectation, right? That's my big takeaway for today. Is that helpful? Anything else anybody wants to add? Okay, so let's talk about it. Tiffany, we'll go to you first. Let's talk about it as you're representing a seller. and you've got a cash offer. In a multiple offer situation, and then in a just one off.
Okay.
Just role play that or give us some experience.
Well, I mean, just my caution to everybody, and whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, always get proof of funds, especially if you are in a multiple offer situation. Just because an offer comes through and it says cash, I would make sure that I have some kind of proof that they have the funds readily available that they can get. So that way, if it's not readily available, that they might not be able to close any quicker than anybody else, depending on where they're getting their money from. So I just think that's super important. Same thing with if you're in a multiple offer situation, make sure you get a pre-approval letter from the other offers as well, just so you can realistically compare them. But aside from that, I mean, if it's a cash offer, you have proof of funds, I would recommend that my seller go with a cash deal versus a bank. You don't have to worry about an appraisal. You don't have to worry about financing falling through or anything like that.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point. And I really want to stress this too, and not just like in a cash situation. Guys, don't be submitting offers without proof of funds or without a letter from a lender.
And don't believe your clients that they have one.
1,000%.
Don't quit.
And if they don't have the letter, they need to give you their loan officer's contact information so you can verbally verify with them that it's coming. You just don't have it. Okay? Because the last thing, just 1 second. The last thing you want to do is get under contract and then have to back out because your client misunderstood what the lender told them or just flat out lied and you can't prove it. Now, as a list agent, I'm not going to ever accept an offer without proof of funds or without a letter from a lender, right?
That's it.
But other agents might. Okay? But you still shouldn't do it. Because A, you're not really representing your client the best way because you're allowing them to put money for risk without proving that they're able to pay for the house. And B, you're wasting your time. Because what happens, you get a week into the process and you've done all this, you've put it in CSU, you've put it in Boomtown, you've put it in Dotloop, you've filled out the closing checklist, you've done the professional services disclosure, you've spent an hour doing all that time, and God knows what else, and then now you have to spend an hour cleaning the mess up because they can't really pay for the house. So just make sure that you're staying ahead of that. Hey, I've been there in the rush to get the offer accepted, just like, hey, but save yourself the trouble on the back end. Just make sure that you go through the process the right way and insist that you get the information you need. It's not negotiable, even if the other agent tells you it's negotiable.
Have you all ever had a cash offer that didn't go through?
I haven't.
That's offer.
No, we worked it out almost. I didn't realize that the money was, well, I did realize, but it was just kind of a mess how it had to happen. The money was coming from the parents. So,
but I've got clients now who are trying to close here, but can't until their house closes in Colorado. And they've been under contract 3 months in Colorado, and that shit still doesn't look like it's going to close.
What?
And I'm like, why did you accept the offer then, much less how's it 3 months later and they're still not in position to close? I just don't understand what the hell their agent was doing there.
Yeah.
And they let the people move into the house. Also, my clients are living in the house. So I'm just like, okay, well, what are you going to do? I've also
Wait, they both live in the house
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
together?
They both taken possession of the houses they're buying.
Oh, I get what you're saying now. I thought you meant they both lived in the house in
Yeah,
Colorado.
that could be even more fun if they were doing that.
Doug,
Yeah.
I have a cash buyer that's coming down on.
Did you hear that?
She was supposed to come down Monday, but she's coming down the following Monday. I think it's like the 24th or something. What does a letter? Who do I get the letter from that says she's got this money to buy a condo or whatever?
If a cash buyer, they just need to send you a PDF of a bank account or trust account or whatever statement that shows their name and the balance is going to cover the purchase price.
Okay.
And again, they can print it out and black out the account number and that stuff. You just need to see the institution, their name, and the balance. You don't need the whole statement. You just need it like a balance sheet.
Right. And would I ask for that? So she's found some places that she likes or whatever. It's the one that I just put under agency today.
Uh-huh.
Should I get that right away, or should I wait until we start going forward towards a house?
I mean, I would do it like this. Be like, hey, if you were getting a loan, then I would need a letter from your lender that says you're qualified. Since you're paying cash, I just need a statement that shows your name and the balance. We can cover up your account number or whatever. So I need you can go ahead and send that to me now so we have it and we're ready, or you can bring it to me when we meet.
You can also kind of structure it to where you're saying, hey, if it's something that, you need to move money around, this gives you the time to do it up front.
Right.
Exactly.
Just
So
in case
it's
you
not
come down
all
and you
in one
find
place.
something and you want to jump on it right away. It's already taken care of.
Like some people will send you their statement of their 401k, which they're going to pull it out of. You'll need some time to do that. You can't just go withdraw that like you can from a bank. So
My lady just sent like a screenshot of her state employees credit union. It said like mutual fund, whatever, or market money, whatever. And then like the balance on the bottom. And she just PDFs that to me. And
yeah,
you can
and most anybody, if you do online banking or whatever, there's a way to go in and just PDF the statement or, the balance.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But
Okay.
the thing is, you want to go ahead and plant that seed so you're not doing it when you're showing houses. Just say, so we're already under agency, so we're prepared and I already have everything I need for when we see the one we make an offer on. Go ahead and send me this.
Right.
That's awesome, Dustin.
Yeah. She's I like her. She's an older lady, but she's really nice. So a lot better than the clients that I just got done dealing with.
Yeah. And you still got it done.
Yeah.
All right. Good points, everybody. Thanks for sharing. That's why we do this. I hope it's helpful for everybody. Just, be real careful with the expectations you are setting. Don't let them set the expectation. Explain it to them. That's why we're here, to give them that guidance so they understand how it's played out. A lot of people have misconceptions about how the real estate game is going to play out. More than anything, we're a coach, so they know what to expect and how it's going to play out based on our experience, and not just our individual, but our collective. That's why we do this, so we have that too. So, cool. All right. Should we just hang out because we didn't get FaceTime yesterday?
Mm-mm.
No.
All right. You guys go have a great day. I'll be talking to some of you later.
Thanks,
gonna
Dustin,
say-
for Saturday.
Yeah. No problem.
Bye.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Nate.
No, can I hit
Doug.
you later on this afternoon for pipeline?
Later.
Yes.
What time?
No,
I got to walk through at 4.
it'll be before then.
Okay.
2-ish, maybe.
What time?
Like 2-ish, if that works.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right. See you later. Have a great day.
Doug, quick random
Hey,
question
Doug.
on CE
Uh-huh.
or on the what's it called, class.